You are very welcome to our webinar, Transform Your Business with Magento 2. I'm Rebecca Doherty from Adobe, and today we are going to be discussing the native functionality of the Magento 2 e-commerce platform, including diving into features of the latest platform, which allow you to provide personalized experiences to stay ahead of your competition, and also some real-life cases. But first, while we have some people joining, I'm going to run you through some housekeeping rules. You will see a couple of sections or boxes on your console. These are the slides box. One tip here is that you can make the slides box bigger by dragging on the edges. You'll also see the Q&A box. Please ask questions as you think of them into this box, and we will answer them all at the end. You'll also see a resources box, and in this we have included links to 3 resources, including a paper that details the benefits to merchants of Magento 2, which is more detail on the presentation that we'll be sharing with you today, a link to a blog, and also including the Core of Commerce podcast. And finally, you will see some information on our speakers and some contact details for them. Final point on housekeeping is that the recording will be available to you all afterwards. You will get an email shortly after the webinar. And now I am going to hand over to our presenters, but first to introduce them very quickly. First up, we'll have Georgia Barry, who is an e-com strategist working for Vaimo, who are an elite solution implementation partner of Magento. And Georgia is speaking to you from London today. And we also have Eric Bergelin from Magento, the Magento team, and he is an e-commerce consultant, and he is speaking to you from Sweden today. Georgia, over to you.
Thank you very much for that, Rebecca. Welcome, everybody. And as Rebecca mentioned, we're going to take you through a few sort of tips and tricks and some features and some case studies around Magento 2, just based on some of our experiences. Thank you for the intro of who we actually are. So as mentioned, I work for Vaimo in the strategy team. So Vaimo has over 3 years experience delivering over 100 Magento 2 projects in both the B2B and B2C sectors across 14 different countries and markets. And we're basically perfectly positioned to help you with your Magento build or migration. And Eric, who is helping me out on the webinar today as well. Eric, do you want to tell the audience a bit about yourself?
Yeah, thank you, Georgia. So pleasure to be here. My name is Eric Bergelin. I am managing the Nordic region for Magento, now obviously an Adobe company. Been in the software industry for, I guess, 12 years in both the Nordics, the UK, and Canada. And I'm currently working hands-on with our end merchants in the Nordics together with Vaimo. So it's a pleasure to be here today to speak to you all.
Great. Thanks, Eric. We're both really, really excited to have you all with us. We've put some time aside at the end for any questions that you might have so we can help answer them. So please do hang around and make sure that you get all the answers and information that you need from the session. A little overview of today's topics. We'll be covering off some key questions to ask yourself when migrating. We'll talk through some of the features and benefits of Magento 2, as well as some key B2B features. Towards the end, we have some client case studies and metrics that we'll run you through. And then, as mentioned, we've left some time for Q&A. So please feel free to be a part of the conversation. So to kick things off, I wanted to share a key statistic that just shows the importance of investing in e-commerce and harnessing your online potential. So according to Statista, the European e-commerce market is set to be valued at $145 billion by 2024. The UK is actually the largest e-commerce market in Europe, with e-commerce revenue amounting to an expected $84 million by 2020. So this poses a massive opportunity to those who are either in or considering entering the e-commerce space. And in this webinar, we're going to help you understand exactly what you need to know before migrating or before launching a new store on the Magento 2 platform. So to kick things off, what are the key questions that you should be asking yourself? With support and updates for M1 coming to an end in June 2020, it's really critical that you start planning this move soon. And to make your life easier, we've prepared these questions just based on experience and what we often get from clients. And also based on our experience, we've noted a few questions that you should be asking yourself in regards to the move to make sure that you're fully prepared. So what are these common migration questions? The first one is around what are the big data migration jobs? In this regard, the heavy lifting really includes creating the store and web architecture and the products within the stores. So your existing product and custom attributes and customer lists need to be added, and the categories need to be established. Then you need to look at migrating your orders and customer data. Now, this is also optional, but it really, really is good practice to make sure that you have all that retroactive data at your disposal for learning and evaluation kind of year on year. The second question we get asked a lot is, what about reusage? Can't I just recycle my original M1 store? So because M2 is a major upgrade and refreshment to the Magento core architecture, existing features and modules will really need to be reworked and upgraded for Magento 2 compatibility. So while design is something that you can actually translate for M2, this is actually a really good opportunity to refresh your e-commerce site design and also think through any limitations that you have on your current setup. In terms of back-end integrations, any existing specifications and schematics can definitely be reused to determine how the new platform will interact with all your third parties and tools. Thirdly, when to migrate. So it's definitely time to start at least thinking about planning this move. And one important factor to consider is finding a solution partner that will have the capacity to actually help you in time and to meet those requirements. At Vaimo, we see discoveries can take anything between 4 to 6 weeks, and the build can be anything from 3 months upwards. Obviously, this really depends on the size and complexity of the project. And having said this, it's not unknown that websites can get up and running within a couple of weeks. So the options are there. It's just really to understand that this will allow you to transact online purely, and you'll have a much simpler setup to begin with. Eric, can you speak a little bit more to timing and end of life of Magento here?
Absolutely. So I think it's worth highlighting that, as Georgia's saying here, Magento 1 is coming to an end of life, and the scheduled date for that is the 30th of June this year. And what this really means is that there won't be any security patches or software support provided post this date. And this also affects, obviously, the ecosystem of extensions and technology partners that are following the same dates on their software and support. So it's good to know that extensions and technology plug-in software will also be affected by this.
Yeah, thanks, Eric. The fourth question that we've got here is around the costs. So what are the costs that are involved with this particular move? It's really important to remember that the migration from M1 to M2 should be viewed as a brand new website, a brand new project, and should effectively be in a similar cost range as it is to build the original site. At Vaimo, we offer a service to evaluate and upgrade the effort from Magento 1 to Magento 2, providing estimated costs and a proposed timeline as a result. Eric, can you explain a bit more in regards to Magento-specific costs?
Yeah, so Magento, as a software vendor here, provides a combined package of cloud hosting and the e-commerce platform as a service and software modules that are containing the most valuable features out of the box. And the price is really dependent on the size of business and the capacity requirements of each individual merchant that we work with. The out-of-the-box nature of Magento, however, does actually ensure a strong TCO and cost control. So Magento Commerce can support the small businesses. You can start very small, but also the large enterprises due to the flexibility of the platform.
Thanks. The final question is really, why can't I just stay on M1? And it is something we do get asked. And to explain a bit more, the majority of your third-party technology providers are focusing on building and improving their modules for M2. So Eric did mention this, and this basically means that innovation is only occurring on M2 at the moment, and also at a speed that we've never experienced before. In addition to this, it's also happening in a far more reliable fashion. This is because Magento now has stricter processes for the release of new modules. So if you stay on M1, you'll be missing out on these key new developments and the benefits that they can bring for your business. Of course, one of the main reasons to move away from Magento 1 is that Magento will cease support for in June 2020. Eric, would you like to add a little bit more here?
I guess just very briefly, I think we touched on it here already, but there always is a time when software goes end of life. So for M1, I think we've been working with M1 together with Vaimo since 2008 on that platform. So it's been a really good ride with M1. The security and performance aspects, I think, are key in terms of evaluating the move off M1 to M2. And I also think it's at a high level is also about future-proofing and enhancing the e-commerce engine that actually drives your business moving forward. So those are the two key reasons, I think, to move off from a technology standpoint.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, things are moving so fast. It's really important to try and keep up and make sure that your business is geared to serve, your customers' expectations. So as a second point, migration questions and answers are one thing, but what about the really important features that you want to add to your store to enhance your offering? To this end, we've prepared an additional set of questions that you can ask yourself just to get you thinking a little bit. So the first piece is around analytics, and one of the key starting areas is to look at your data. Get a really good understanding of the areas that need improving on your current solution and use those KPIs to prioritize features and ensure that your new solution meets those needs to enable you to reach those goals and targets. The second question is around extensions. So really important to get a full understanding of the key features that Magento 2 can offer you before going out to the marketplace. This will ensure you're getting the best value for your money and leveraging all native functionality to reduce total cost of ownership. The marketplace can offer many great modules and enhancements that you can leverage, and a big Magento benefit is actually that it is incredibly modular, so you can get the perfect solution for your need. The third point is around integrations. So having a really good understanding of your third-party systems, so for example, ERP or your warehouse management system, are there any existing Magento 2 connectors, or are you needing custom integrations? These are really important areas to consider, as it is a space where costs can start to climb quite quickly if you don't fully understand how these third parties and other integrations will communicate with your platform. Then the fourth point is around training. And this is such an important area, but it can often be overlooked in the project. So in order to get the most out of Magento, your teams really need to understand how best to use it and how to manage their stores. Vaimo offers ranging support in this area. So we have loads of Magento 2 certified developers and strategists that we leverage within the organization to make sure our clients are fully equipped when they go live and to make sure that they ultimately become super users. And Eric, I believe you've got some interesting offerings from Magento in this area as well.
Yeah, so we also offer, and I'm sure some of you on the call have seen this as well, but we have the Magento U, so the Magento University, where we offer online courses both for technical and non-technical teams, and also the path towards certification for technical teams. And I think what this really does is provide a comprehensive learning path for our Magento users. And on top of this, we're also, for all our Magento Commerce clients, we also have client success management resources that are working together as a team with Vaimo and our merchants in order to suggest learning paths and courses that might be relevant for that particular merchant. And actually at the moment as well, we are offering, during the circumstances that are currently surrounding us in the world, we are offering 3 months of the Magento U at no cost. So I think it could be a really good time to have a look at that and try some of the courses in there.
Great, thanks for that, Eric. The fifth point here is actually around the migration team, and defining the team that will own the migration is really critical to the success of the project. So clear project ownership and management is needed in order for the build and the migration to actually be successful. In addition to this, really understanding which peripheral teams within your organization that you need to support in the move is also really important. So for example, here we talk about product teams and product information. So you've done all the thinking, and we've made you answer a lot of questions. The most important thing here to remember is that you need to ensure you're moving at the speed of your customer. So leveraging all the prepackaged features to get up and running quickly, and then enhancing from that point onwards. So today, time to market is more critical than ever before. And what we often recommend is a bit of a crawl, walk, run approach, which really allows you time to identify the major gaps that you need filled by any additional third parties. So in the rest of this webinar, we're going to talk through some of these gaps that are fulfilled within the feature-rich commerce version of Magento. So out of the box, you get some amazing features, and these have basically been segmented into 3 specific business and customer value pillars, which Eric will introduce to you now.
Thank you, Georgia. So in order to walk through this set of features, as Georgia said, we segmented them into 3 key pillars. And the pillars are creating superior shopping experiences. So that's everything from designing, planning, and executing on the content and the overall details of the shopping experience. And the other pillar is intelligent commerce. So how can we allow our merchants to make more data-driven decisions and leverage new technology like artificial intelligence to drive growth in the digital channel. And the third pillar is business agility. So that's all around future-proofing the platform and accelerating that time to market across various go-to-market channels. So I wanted to first of all dig into the superior shopping experiences pillar. And Magento, natively out of the box, really helps you design, plan, and execute on your marketing strategy. And some of the things that allows you to do that is, for example, the Page Builder CMS tool that is included in Magento Commerce. So with the help of Page Builder, we allow you to create amazing content using drag and drop functionality without having to leverage technical teams for coding. And we can also, in this tool, create dynamic and personalized block to display the content that's relevant to your end customer. We also make scheduling and previewing of marketing campaigns possible through content staging and preview functionality in order to deliver the right message to the right customer at the right time. And what is even more exciting, I believe, is that we can now also present all of this on responsive sites for mobile devices, but also on progressive web applications, ensuring that super fast page speed and higher conversion rates. And Georgia will take you through a couple of the first points here before we'll go back to discuss PWA in a little bit more detail.
Great, thank you, Eric. So talking about Page Builder, as Eric mentioned, one of the Magento 2 key features is the advanced page building functionality that helps you to deliver really powerful and intuitive content. This capability, along with the pre-built integration with enterprise CMS services, allows for creating targeted and personalized content that is super relevant for the user. And really importantly, this also empowers your non-technical teams. So any person who's sitting in the marketing department can now make changes instantly to the website without having to understand any kind of coding or without any technical knowledge. More than just the ease of content creation, though, Magento have really taken it a step further and introduced content management enhancements, which include staging and preview. Now, this allows you to easily stage and schedule design updates and content to go live as and when you need it. You can now connect your content, your promotions, and your pricing all in one admin interface, making the jobs of your marketers so much easier than they've ever been. This delivers the right message at the right time to the right audience, and this is more important now than ever. So I'm going to hand back to Eric, who's going to talk us through the really exciting PWA capabilities that Page Builder now offers.
Thank you. So we've designed and we planned and scheduled the experience for our customers. Now we need to execute. So as you all know, I'm sure mobility is very important in any digital commerce strategy today. You see that 75% of consumers are actually shopping from mobile devices. And with that statistic in mind, and PWA, because the web application is quickly becoming a key technology in delivering speed and end user performance, we felt it important to enable the design and plan stages of PWA as well. So what I'm saying is that we are actually adding Page Builder within the same admin user interface for progressive web applications, allowing you to manage all of that content, which is, I think, a really cool feature. We also added a new reference store for progressive web applications called Venia that makes you pretty much makes it possible for you to leverage a pre-built sort of blueprint template for your progressive web application experiences. And this is all to further drive conversion rates on mobile devices for your business, obviously. And we're talking about speed and performance, but why is this so important today? As a matter of fact, according to data from our consumers, we see that 56% actually see the ease of use as a deciding factor in making a purchase today. So even though design and aesthetics is very important, speed and ease of use is actually valued above all of that by the end customer. So when talking about speed and performance in particular, I think, Georgia, you have a couple of interesting points here regarding the speed and performance in M2 versus M1.
Yeah, I do. Thanks, Eric. So yeah, we basically see an inverse relationship between speed and conversion rate and bounce rate. So as speed is negatively impacted, as your page load speed increases, so your conversion rate dips and your bounce rate also increases. So they have a very strong effect on one another, and this speaks to customer expectations around this. And further to that, just the latest architecture on which Magento 2 is built and the latest PHP versions, we see massive performance improvements. So the next slide I'll show you is a comparison for Magento 1 and Magento 2 out of the box without any additional third parties. And we can clearly see just the improved processing power that we can achieve with the Magento 2 framework and architecture and being built on PHP 7. And this affects your catalog operations, so your ability to manage your products and your catalog efficiently. And it also affects your order processing. So as your business scales, so you need your engine and your platform to scale with you. And I think Magento 2 really has proved itself in this space. In addition to this, and this is something that I find really exciting, Magento they've really worked hard to improve the checkout flow. So Magento 2 Commerce comes with a 2-step checkout flow, and you'll find a Magento 1 that actually used to be a 5-step checkout. So Magento really focused on a really critical part of the customer journey and made sure that they've, out of the box, offered something that is simple and easy to use and also converts at the last most important point. So I'm going to hand back to Eric now. He's going to talk through our second pillar, which is intelligent commerce.
Thank you, Georgia. So it's very exciting times right now in Magento. We, obviously being part of Adobe, we get a lot of investment into our products. Adobe is an $11 billion company spending a lot on R&D. I believe in 2019, it was 17% that was spent on research and development. And one of the key focus areas here is for us to provide a more automated and intelligent approach to commerce. And this is why we're now enabling Adobe Sensei as an AI engine out of the box in Magento Commerce at no added cost to all our merchants. And the AI engine will allow an automated approach, so will help you connect your content with all the data that you have on your customers. It also helps better manage the overall customer journey, so it will provide intelligent analytics and audience optimization efforts automated. In a nutshell, this will, in the near future, allow our merchants to provide AI-based product recommendations, AI-based personalization, AI-based analytics and decision-making, as well as AI-based search capabilities to help your customers better convert. And thanks to this tighter integration with Adobe, we can actually unlock some further value about our customer and their behaviors. Magento Commerce comes with a full-scale business intelligence solution out of the box. I'm sure many of you on the call are familiar with this. Some of you might not be, but it comes with a BI tool. And using the integration between Adobe Analytics and Magento BI, our merchants can now review the online business across various departments or functions and see things like the general operations and health of the business and benchmarking with merchandising for categories, products, and assortments. And also looking at the marketing campaigns and the touch points with the customer in more detail to better streamline the promotions and marketing programs run into the future. And also look at the overall site performance. We know now from Georgia's part here that speed and performance is really important. So this can really help look into how to best optimize that and where to spend your efforts. And all this is really with the aim of maximizing the customer lifetime value of course, your consumers and businesses, with a focus on visitor and customer behavior. And the data collection, analysis, and AI capabilities will all lead to very highly personalized experiences for your customers, which Georgia will go into a little bit more detail on now.
Yeah, thank you, Eric. So just keeping in line with the topic of personalization, it's really important to remember that these experiences are as important and relevant to B2B as they are with B2C. So in both spaces within Magento 2 now, you're now able to offer customized catalogs and pricing for different customer groups. Segmentation and targeting makes this easier and allows you to offer unique experiences from your various brands and divisions. So you can serve unique content and experiences to customers in different locations. Additionally, you can also personalize workflows and customize these accounts based on your business needs. I'm going to hand back to Eric, who's going to take us through business agility, which is our final pillar.
Another key value in Magento is how the platform really enables improvements to business agility. And what we see is by accommodating increasingly important sales channels like Amazon and Google Shopping, we can enable one admin experience to automatically synchronize products and inventory natively within Magento. So for all the merchants that are looking into a marketplace strategy or are already selling on the likes of Amazon, we can in certain regions directly integrate with those platforms natively in Magento now. We also see increased need to manage multiple business models within the same platform, which is why we can manage both B2C, B2B, and hybrids between the two from one consolidated view. And in modern businesses, we also see that the application landscape is shifting at a much higher frequency. I'm sure you're seeing this as well in your businesses, that ERP systems are being replaced more frequently, CRM systems and other systems of record. And this is where the open source nature of Magento really adds value in the ongoing application rationalization. Magento is designed to integrate with virtually any third-party system that you have or may want to add in the future. And this is thanks to the robust and documented APIs, but also the new support for GraphQL. And Magento merchants integrate functions that you can see here, everything from the ERP systems from Oracle or SAP to the PIM, various PIM tools that you might want to use in your business, but also many more, virtually any system. So there's no real need here to replace your existing investment in other business systems, but rather have Magento act as a platform in between these systems to support your further growth. So this is the agility for the business and for the systems landscape. But what does this agility mean for the actual user, Georgia?
Thanks, Eric. This is a really, really important question, actually. And it's important to remember that the users of Magento also need agility and flexibility. So to this end, Magento have ensured that users have access to a super intuitive and easy to use admin interface. They've also worked really hard to ensure that it is mobile friendly. And for those on the move continuously, you're able to make quick updates or remove things that you need to. And then it also offers increased import and export functionality. And this, for me, I think is really critical. It's just being able to access all of your data and being able to make bulk updates really quickly sort of completely reduces the total amount of time that you're spending managing and doing any kind of manual work on the website itself. So Eric's going to take us through some of the enhanced business model capabilities supporting B2B and B2C and hybrid models on single instances.
Well, we see that every business is different and the way that they sell to customers as well. And this image is really just to show the ease of which B2B and B2C can sit together under one instance and share things like customer groups and leveraging functionality while also ensuring that personalized experience and capabilities are being kept for each customer type. Today, it's not really uncommon to have both B2C and B2B separate from one another, and sometimes even different delivery models within B2B and B2C sitting in separate platforms, which is why it's important for us to really help our merchants bring all of this together under one instance and make it more manageable. And B2B is largely an interesting sector for digital sales right now, where I think all the reports from analysts show that a lot of growth is expected. And therefore, Georgia and I will take you through some of the supporting features that we have specifically for B2B moving forward.
Great, thank you, Eric. So in the next few slides, we're going to focus on specific B2B functionality. And to kick things off, just to kind of set the tone, we have very clearly recognized that there is a massive opportunity for B2B businesses within digital. B2B is not separate from B2C. Customers often expect the same experiences, and we're seeing massive growth in this area. So this relates to just B2B businesses being able to transact online, but then also their ability to deliver effective personalized content and just ultimately serve their customer needs. So some of the features that Magento 2 offers is, one, its user friendliness is really, really important. We found that 61% of B2B users are actually doing their research on a mobile device. So following the enhanced B2C features, Magento 2 actually offers really mobile-friendly and optimized flows for B2B users. Now, this is something that can often be overlooked on a lot of B2B websites, but it is a capability that Magento prioritizes for your store and for your customer. Secondly, we have friction-free purchasing. And this is really critical in the business buying process where customers have very limited time to find the products that they need. Often these orders comprise of many items with specific SKUs, which are actually known to the buyer. And Magento offers functionality to allow buyers to order by SKU, by requisition list. And a requisition list is basically a saved shopping list that can be updated or edited based on the needs of the moment. The ability to place fast reorders based on saved lists. And then punch-out support also allows customers to place orders from within their own procurement systems. And lastly, request for quote workflow ensures that you don't miss any opportunities. And Eric, you want to talk a little bit more about this feature?
This is really helping B2B companies where a lot of the order management and support from inside sales staff or support staff is really around responding to emails and phone calls when a customer wants a discount or a better deal. And in this case, what we've done is we've included out of the box in Magento Commerce a request for quotation feature that allows buyers to check out using a request for quote functionality that triggers a workflow that goes then into the selling side where the salesperson can apply a discount or interact with the customer through the Magento admin portal. And what this does is really helping with the productivity of the sales team, but it's also shifting some of the focus from guided selling, I suppose, into more guided buying, where the customer is taking more of a self-service approach themselves into negotiating with you. And when we speak about self-service, from a self-service and user perspective, businesses can also, within Magento, actually corporate accounts and tailor buyer roles and permissions. And those are based on the needs and ordering capabilities of that individual. So if you're buying manager, but you need your team to place the orders and you just need to approve those, these workflows can now be set up and managed through the admin panel in Magento. And payments can also be personalized for specific B2B businesses, allowing for payment on account to a specified credit limit. And something that's really valuable, is proven to be really valuable for B2B companies, is that buyers can also directly in Magento see the credit availability and track their quote and order history through their account sections. And this is something that's typically done in a more manual fashion using email and phone calls to your supplier to check your credit limit in most businesses today. And so this really shifts a lot of the manual work from the seller to the buyer and helps sellers work with more specialized support or project-based, solution-based selling, where it's more important to create a larger bill of material.
Thanks, Eric. So next, we're going to actually take you through a couple of our client cases and statistics, some of the success stories. So it's always exciting for us to talk about all the features and enhancements that Magento 2 can bring, but what really makes us happy is when we see the results that Magento platform has and what a good implementation can actually achieve for businesses and our clients. So we've gathered some statistics and metrics from some of our key clients just to show you the potential that lays ahead for your business as well. And we're going to start off with a bit of a global helicopter view. And what we found is generally, globally, after upgrading to Magento 2 Commerce, clients showed a 61% reduction in content creation times. This really speaks to the page builder effect, really just optimizing the way that you manage your content. We've seen a 29% increase in mobile revenue, 25% increase in site traffic, 16% increase in conversion rates. And also another really great improvement is just the ability to process 10 million page views per hour versus 200,000 for M1. So again, just talking to the performance capabilities of Magento 2 versus M1. And the first case study that we're going to talk through is Bauhaus. So Bauhaus is actually a shared client between Magento and Vaimo, and they ultimately bring quality tools and materials for home improvements and DIY to one big store. And they aim to offer the industry's biggest selection and provide effective customer service with the most knowledgeable staff. The key focus for them is really on quality, so customer experience quality and data quality. And the challenges that they had were trying to increase their trade customer registrations and sales, and then reducing all their manual processes internally. So some of the points that we've already spoken to. And in terms of the solutions that were implemented, so we saw an online automated credit application feature go live, click and collect and new delivery options. We've seen customized pricing for B2B customers, full account management capabilities for users, and personalized and engaging content to build unique experiences for each customer. And then the results really speak for themselves as well. So 296% increase in online revenue growth, 50% increase in customer registrations. And this was a really key focus area for them, is just trying to make that ease of registration that much easier and remove that manual workload. And then an 80% reduction in manual processes. So really an exciting case study there for us. And the second case study that I'm going to chat through is Licata. So Licata is based in Benelux, and they're a building goods and material distributor. Their challenges included just making sure that they had a stable platform that would enable long-term growth and scalability. But at the same time, they really wanted to improve the overall customer experience on the website. So the solution that was built for them included improved product discoverability, so really focusing on search and navigation, some personalized pricing and promotions for various customer groups, a quick reorder functionality with requisition lists as well, making sure that sales reps were empowered while they're out in the field, and some very granular account management and order workflows to help facilitate the ordering process. And then lastly, full inventory visibility, so making sure that absolutely everything was visible on the website so they don't miss any sales. The results, we've seen doubled monthly sales 2 times and an 11% increase in AOV. I'm going to hand back to Eric, who's going to talk through 2 more success stories in some different sectors.
Thank you, Georgia. So I want to talk, we talked about personalization, so I think it's quite a nice fit here. Crane Stationery is creating personalized stationery with high quality material, high quality paper. And Crane Stationery came to us because they wanted to modernize their online experience to support growth. They wanted to simplify the ordering, but also the reordering of their products to spark higher customer loyalty. And we talked about hybrids earlier, so they also wanted to do a B2C and a B2B joint project here, supporting both those types of customers within the same platform. So what we did here was we provided the high-performance B2B and B2C site on the same Magento commerce platform. We gave them some online customization and proofing tools to ensure that the customers were satisfied before converting, so that helped increase the conversion rate. We also added quick ordering from search suggestions to ensure a quick and smooth experience. And in this case, it was also an ERP integration with Oracle's JD Edwards. And the results here are really good. So first of all, they saw a 54% increase in conversion from these efforts. They also saw a 29% increase in revenue. And I think even more interestingly, they saw a 127% increase in mobile revenue. And mobile obviously being very important today. So I think that's a very strong result. The other case I wanted to talk about, I think, is also very relevant today. It's a company called Pino. And what Pino does is essentially sell fitness equipment for physiotherapy. And if we look at this current situation that we have in the world now surrounding COVID-19 and all the implications from that, we also see that weight training and the fitness equipment is really going up for people building their home gyms. And weight training is up by, I think, 307% compared to last year in March, and fitness equipment up by 170%. So this is a very interesting sector right now as well, where time to market is also very important. And the challenges that Pino saw was to, first of all, improve the overall digital customer experience and also accelerate the time to market. And what we did here was we provided the Magento cloud solution to support both the B2B and B2C sales channels. We also helped them launch in numerous markets, so supporting more of a global approach, and also made it available for them using Page Builder to create mobile-optimized responsive sites directly within the CMS. And I think the most interesting metric here is the 4 weeks it took from initiating the project to actually launching the site. That's very, very quick. And also a 50% decrease in the total TCO of the e-commerce platform and the operations around that. So that concludes the reference case studies that we wanted to highlight. So I wanted to take a minute and just summarize a little bit what we talked about today. So I'm going back to the 3 pillars. So we talked about how M2 can help you create superior shopping experiences and has the features to allow you to design, plan, and execute on those across the new technologies like progressive web applications. We also talked about how Magento now is enabling a more intelligent approach to commerce using a more data-driven approach, as well as the AI engine from Adobe Sensei to help drive growth through personalization. And we also talked about various types of different business models and how the Magento platform can support agility and accommodate for all of those and really help you future-proof the platform and move at the speed of your customer.